Have you ever wondered what it takes to be a hero? Is it superpowers? A fancy suit? Or is it something deeper? Something found in the heart of ordinary people in extraordinary moments. Today I want to share a story with you that redefines courage. It's a story about a woman who, with nothing but her will and her training, became a human shield. The scene was pure chaos. An explosion had ripped through a crowded market, and the air was thick with smoke and fear. Amid the debris and the cries for help, a makeshift triage center was set up. Wounded people, scared and in pain, were being tended to by a small team of medics. Among them was a young nurse named Anya. She moved with a calm efficiency that defied the pandemonium around her, dressing wounds, comforting the terrified, and saving lives one by one. Suddenly, a new wave of panic erupted. A group of armed men, responsible for the initial blast, were storming through the market, their intentions cruelly clear: to finish what they started. But people scattered, running for their lives. But Anya's patients couldn't run. They were trapped, vulnerable, and completely exposed. The other medics, faced with an impossible choice, began to retreat to find cover. Who could blame them? They were healers, not soldiers. But Anya didn't move. She looked at the faces of the injured people entrusted to her care, the elderly woman, with a gentle smile. Despite her injuries, the little boy clutching a dusty teddy bear. She knew if she left, they would have no one. In that split second, she made a decision that would echo through time. She stood up, positioning herself directly between the approaching threat and her patients. She wasn't armed. She had no body armor, no shield. All she had was her small frame and a resolve as strong as steel. She spread her arms wide as if to embrace the danger, forming a living barrier. The armed men stopped, momentarily confused by this solitary figure of defiance. They shouted at her to move, their voices dripping with menace. She simply shook her head, her eyes burning with a fierce, protective light. She wouldn't abandon them. This wasn't a calculated act of martyrdom. It was an instinct, a pure, unshakable commitment to the oath she had taken to protect life. Her bravery was a silent, powerful scream in the face of brutality. It was a statement that humanity would not be extinguished by violence. For what felt like an eternity, there was a standoff. A lone nurse against a squad of armed men, with the lives of the helpless hanging in the balance. Then something incredible happened. Her unbelievable courage didn't go unnoticed. Inspired by her stand, other civilians who had found cover slowly began to emerge. A shopkeeper, then a street vendor, then another, until a small crowd had gathered behind her. They had no weapons either, but they had found their strength in hers. The armed men, now facing a unified, unyielding wall of ordinary people, hesitated. Their momentum was broken. The sight of this collective defiance, sparked by one woman's selfless act, was something they hadn't counted on. Just then, the sirens grew louder as official rescue teams arrived, forcing the attackers to flee. The immediate danger was over. Anya finally let her arms fall, her body trembling not from fear, but from the sheer adrenaline of the moment. She immediately turned back to her patients, her focus once again on healing. Anya's story isn't about fighting fire with fire. It's about the incredible power of compassion and the extraordinary courage that can be found within a human heart. She was the only thing standing between them and the injured, and in doing so, she became everything. She proved that one person's bravery can ignite a fire in others, and that the greatest shield we have is sometimes just the will to stand up for what's right